What's up, Cinemaholics? It's me, John, and I'm here live in the studio with Cinemaholics staff writer Sam Noland.
Yes. Hello. It's good to finally be here in person without being separated by the boundaries of technology.
That's right. Now we are only separated by a mere studio table. And Sam, I have a question for you.
I'd love to hear it, John.
Sam, do you like Star Wars? Have you even seen it?
You know, it's a question I ask myself every night just as I'm drifting off to sleep. And I think usually the answer I go with is yes.
Yes. Has anyone ever really seen Star Wars, though? I wonder if that's what you're getting at.
For what it truly is, that is the question that perhaps is not asked enough. But yes, of course, I have seen all 14 of the movies. Not everyone knows there's 14 of them.
Oh, there's so many. And yes, Sam, I think it is safe to say most of the listeners out there listening right now have at least some familiarity with Star Wars as a movie franchise, going back to the original film, which premiered in 1977, just as Star Wars, but way before New Hope and all that drama.
Oh, yeah. Way before Episode 4, all these spin-offs that we had. Slightly before the holiday special, but that's best left forgotten.
Oh, yes. There is a reason the original is so beloved, but have you ever wondered what went into the making of Star Wars? I sure have, and we know George Lucas, he directed and wrote the film. It was his passion project, but as you may suspect, that is not the whole story behind what truly had to happen in order for Star Wars to become the cultural milestone it's remembered as today, which is why Sam and I are here today to give you all a sneak peek into a new show that will help bring that story, the inside of Star Wars, if you will, to your attention. Sam, what is this show that I have so dutifully alluded to?
I'm glad you asked, John. The show you're referring to is called Inside Star Wars, not unlike Inside Jaws, which was advertised just last year.
That's right.
Seems like so long ago, but they're bringing it to Lucas this time. They did Spielberg, and
they did the ocean. Now they're going to space.
Oh yes, well, it's, soon enough they'll get to far reaches of the galaxy, but that might be happening sooner than later because this is the show where they're basically breaking down sort of everything that went into Star Wars, the original film, all of the troubled productions, the kind of stuff that you might hear on a commentary track, but sort of morphed into something a little bit more listenable in an audio format.
That's right. They give you the good, the bad, and the Death Star.
Yes.
You're going to hear all about the nitty-gritty details that went into the production, and there are a lot to hear about. And the thing that I really love about this series, and something I really liked about Inside Jaws, is you get an insight into how much of a struggle it is to make a film work. Even if you have the best of intentions and a precise vision like George Lucas did, sometimes it doesn't quite work. Other times it leads to what is probably the most iconic blockbuster of all time.
It's a fair statement, yeah. The thing about these movies is that they don't know that they're making one of the most iconic things of all time when they're doing it.
Unless they do. Maybe their midichlorians count is so high that they can see ahead into the future. We don't know.
We don't know, but maybe this show will help us out because it really goes really delves into just literally everything that went into it, from the costumes to the locations to the what was going through George Lucas's mind and that kind of stuff.
Yes, I'm impressed that you're able to get into George Lucas's head. It's something that I've been wanting to do myself for most of my life. But all right, without further ado, here is a special preview of Inside Star Wars. And while you're listening, be sure to set your blaster to subscribe. Seriously, go find Inside Star Wars wherever you listen to our show, Cinemaholics, and subscribe to each episode, or find a link in our show notes.
And kid, may the Force be with you.
You had to do it. Boring conversation anyway.
Sure.
The following may contain mature content. From Wondery, I'm Mark Ramsey, and this is Inside Star Wars, Part 1. March 22nd, 1976. It was the first day of shooting in the Tunisian desert, the first day of shooting Star Wars.
Droid down, droid down.
The remote control droids kept falling over, shorting out, crashing into each other.
Cut.
Did we get at least 5 seconds of usable footage before that crash? 6 seconds, George. Good. Let's move on. Wait. Can you hear that? What's that noise? The droids are radio controlled. I think they're picking up local radio. Oh, fabulous. What if we pull them along with wires until they fall over? Sure, and we could also hide behind them, crawling on the sand and push. Oh, fabulous. By the end of the first day of shooting, Anthony Daniels as C-3PO was convinced he wouldn't survive the film. His brilliant gold plastic costume took 2 hours to put on. It was tight. It was bolted to his body above the waist. Another 2 bolts stuck into his neck. Every step was painful. He lurched and hobbled. He was sore. He was cut up, covered in scratches and scars. And this was the very first day of shooting. Kenny Baker was inside R2-D2. Kenny, look out, there's a robot coming! Kenny watched in terror as an out-of-control droid careened towards him. Down went R2, and down went Kenny Baker. Some droids were radio-controlled, some were puppets on strings, some were hydraulic, and one had Kenny inside. And the chances that all of them would do the right thing at the right time on the right mark? Slim. An hour passes, and R2 is ready to go again. Operated by remote control, R2 rolled into the distance over a sand dune.
We can't stop R2! We can't stop R2!
Over a sand dune and onto the set of Franco Zeffirelli's miniseries Jesus of Nazareth, shooting next door.
Cut! What the hell is that?
Oh, God, help us. Outside his tent nearby, Alec Guinness watched. He was the most famous actor in the cast. He was an Oscar winner. He had been knighted by Queen Elizabeth. He was a veteran of Shakespeare and iconic classics, Bridge on the River Kwai, Dr. Zhivago, Lawrence of Arabia, and now, here he was, in the desert, rolling around in the sand, with children dressed as Jawas and a menagerie of malfunctioning robots. His head was in his hands. Gielgud will never let me hear the end of this. At the center of this maelstrom was a moody, bearded 31-year-old named George Lucas. This was the realization of everything he had dreamed of, and it was falling apart at the seams. Seams filled with sand. Nothing was going right. Everything was screwed up, and the director was desperately unhappy. This movie is going to be terrible. I wanted an epic. I didn't count on an epic disaster. Test. Is it okay if we begin? I know we have only an hour. Sure. Okay. It's October 24, 2018. I'm Mark Ramsey. I'm talking with George Lucas outside his home in Marin County. Hold on. Everest? Honey, be careful on that swing. How old's your daughter now? 5. She's 5. Okay, so, again, thank you for making time for this. I know it's a big ask. Are you ready to start? Sure. Start where? Well, let's start with the original Star Wars. Naturally. How much do you think about that movie now? Every day. Every day somebody asks me about it. Every day somebody thanks me for it. And how does that make you feel? It was a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. I'm reminded of it every day, but it's no longer part of me, you know? It used to be mine. Now it's yours. Okay, can we go back to your beginning? Do we have to? Hey, that was just a preview of Inside Star Wars. You're going to love this series. We put our heart and our soul into this thing. To hear the rest, subscribe to Inside Star Wars on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening right now.